contemporary art is truly my passion. It
Hmm.
is truly what I like the most. I don't discredit, of course, old classical, the masters and all of that. But I've seen all of that for, the greater part of my life.
Hmm.
I'm at this point, I'm more interested in what is the new thing. It's
Would you
just fascinating.
characterize Marianella's work as, in a sense, surrealism, magical realism, all of these things, which,
Yeah.
and then ending up with something contemporary, and yet it so much speaks to history?
Absolutely. It's a great question, and it's really one for an art historian, which I am not. I'm just an art lover. It transcends borders and times.
Hmm.
And that is what I found so fascinating. Dali is one of my favorite painters, and I can see a little bit of Dali in Marianella's work.
Yeah,
Of
for sure.
of course, I can also see the huge Mexican tradition that
Yes.
Ella is drawing upon and coming from. But all of those things are intertwined in her work. And I love that. I love surrealism. I love all of that currents. I love to travel. And what I do every time I go to a place I don't know, my first two searches are what is the best museum in this town and
Hmm.
what is the best restaurant in this town, and
Good.
and
Two good things.
exactly, and that's where I'll start my exploring. And even when I was on tour, I've toured with people like Lou Reed, and we would be away in a tour bus for 5 weeks, and we'd have a day off, and in that day off you would
Right.
know where the day off was going to be. You would know how much time you'd have, and
Hmm.
I would tell all the people that I was working with, this is what I'm doing that day. I'm going to this museum in the morning, I'm having lunch here, I'm going to this museum in the afternoon, I'm having dinner here. I've even started a food blog because I was always the guy that people would come to be like, where should I eat in this town? But yeah,
Very
but
nice.
but seriously, the museums were my way of starting the exploration of a city. And I love art. I'm a collector, not a big one. I have a small collection in my place. And I have always loved contemporary art in a subtle way. I'm sure my upbringing has influenced me. I mean, I have grown up in Italy. There's plenty of art in Italy. In Italy, classical art, it's so omnipresent everywhere
Yeah.
that growing up there, you almost get tired of it. You can walk past, a Raffaello or a Botticelli and not even realize what you're walking past
Hmm.
because it's everywhere. There's statues everywhere. There's paintings everywhere. There's Madonnas and Marias everywhere. So you stop appreciating what your surroundings are, but it does inform your visual just gathering of information of the world.
Sure.
So when you go to a different place, like I did in my case when I moved to the US, or when I started touring and traveling a lot more, you start seeing all these other aspects of art, and you start building a greater understanding of everything, where it came from, where it's going, how, and at some point, I guess I've decided, or I've just desired to become a part of that. I mean, I've had many collaborations throughout the years. I've worked with a sculptor, Arianna Carossa from Italy.
Hmm.
We had several shows in the Nevada desert and two shows in Italy. In those cases, I was making sound for the room in which her sculptures were, in one
Hmm.
instance. In the other instance, I was creating sound out of the materials that she had used to create the sculptures. And then, I've created sound design for video art by a Chilean artist, Nicolas Rupic, for the Santiago Museum of Art. And I've created sound for the Venice Biennale for a VR piece by Federico Solmi, who is an Italian VR artist. I have a lot of clients in Mexico. I'm actually going there and do a concert with Natalia Lafourcade, who's one of Mexico's uh, biggest artists at the
Hmm.
moment. She's nominated for, I don't know, remember 5 or 6 or 7 Latin Grammy Awards this year. We're doing 3 concerts at the Auditorio Nacional, which is the biggest concert venue in Mexico City. And she's a wonderful singer, but she's one of many I work with. This year, I'm also working at the Cervantino Festival, which is one of the, I believe, longest running folk and arts festivals of Mexico, the country. It's actually in Guanajuato. And I'm mixing 2 artists there, one from London and one from New York, because I co-curated the festival together with Claudia Curiel, who is a dear friend of mine, and I've known her as a concert organizer, but she's now the most important figure in culture in Mexico, because she works directly with the president, Claudia Schein, as the cultural attaché, I believe is her title, for Mexico.